The first time we met was 20 years ago, during the Kargil War in Srinagar. And at that time too, in the World Cup, India had lost.
But we won the war.
Yes, that's exactly the most important point here. And if you remember General Ved Malik, he has written that it was a surprise to victory, that there were intelligence failures, that there were surveillance failures. But at the end, of course, India won the war. How did the surveillance and intelligence failures affect the Air Force?
See, initially when we were inducted, that is around 17th, 18th of May when the first induction started, we had no idea as to what is the opposition that we are going to face and what are the kind of targets we are supposed to engage. So that was the kind of thing. And most initially, for quite some time, there was a big fog of war in which we didn't know exactly where the targets were located. And what are the targets? Initially, it was said that there are a few insurgents or terrorists, which was slightly odd, given that the scale of intrusion was so high. But the fact remains that yes, initially we were surprised. A lot of countries have been surprised. Americans were surprised in Pearl Harbor, but they won.
Yes.
So we were surprised. So what? We were surprised, but we won. That is the bottom line.
It also matters that one of your predecessors has said that yes, not only was there surprise, but the army perhaps held back information from the Air Force. Now, how much did that affect your operations?
See, I was operating in that conflict at the tactical level. I was commanding a squadron. So our this thing with the army, with the BGS of 15 Corps, who used to, I think, Brigadier Chopra, if I'm not mistaken, he used to come over and he used to give the targets, and with the GLO who was there in Srinagar, and he was the brother of our commanding officer of 108 Squadron, real brother. This thing was very good. I mean, whatever, I think as much as they knew, they used to share it with us. At the operational and the strategic level, if there was a miscommunication, I was not aware of that. But yes, on hindsight, now I have realized that one of the biggest elements of surprise was that the Pakistan Air Force had deployed to all its op location, and at that particular period of time, we didn't know when we inducted. Yes, in the Indian Air Force, rightly so, the chief put the entire Indian Air Force on alert when we went in on 26th. Because you see, in air action, anything can happen. You know, somebody can stray, something can happen, somebody can let loose a air-to-air missile, and in no time the conflict will surge out of control. So we were prepared for the worst when we went in for our air operation on the 26th.
You spoke about surprise. You today, as Air Chief, Chairman Chiefs of Staff Committee, can you be surprised today? Would Kargil have happened today?
Like it was a joke that I said in the last Kargil seminar, that you can be rest assured all generals are prepared to fight the last war.
Yes, what does that mean?
So no, it is just, what it means is you can be rest assured, Kargil, all deficiencies have been covered. It is not that we are not ready for the next one. It is just that at least the last one that we fought in Kargil, all deficiencies have been covered. Let us start with reconnaissance and surveillance. You know, here is where we have made the largest gains over the last 20 years. First of all, we did not have a satellite system that time. It was zero in 1999, and the kind of resolution that are required for tactical targets. We had IRS-1B and 1C and all, but they can't pick up tactical target. So we have got now satellites, not only international satellites, images available on payment, more importantly Indian satellites, whose we have got both orbital control, means we can get it where we want, and shutter control, means we can take whatever pictures we so desire. So with all this, so that is one, space surveillance has come big way. Then we have got on the Sukhoi 30, we have got the Iris pod, which is for large area reconnaissance and surveillance, which has also come big time. And it is digital, it is downloaded, and it is available in real time. Unlike those days when we had the LOROP on the Jaguar aircraft, and one sister intelligence agency on an executive jet had a LOROP. It had a good focal length, but then it was a wet film. The aircraft had to come and land, and then you have to check it out. Then you have to take out the coordinates through photo map comparison. All that is gone now. Now you instantaneous, you get the coordinates of the target that you have got, and you can see it. Then on the tactical side, compared to what the camera that I had, the Winton cameras on the Type 96 and the Vicon, which was there on the Jaguar, compared to that, the Recce light has come in, and Recce light is also, once again, it is digital, it is real time, and very good resolution, and very good position accuracy. Then over and above that, we have got the UAVs. UAVs, at least in a benign airspace, like in Kargil, it was our territory. Till the time you get air superiority in a benign airspace, the UAVs are very good. In fact, as far as resolution goes, they are the best, because you can zoom in and you can even see a dog from 15,000 feet. But and not only that, you can also get very accurate coordinates. So this problem of Kargil, of that Sangars, how many of them are there, where are they located, and most important, what was their coordinate? When you have to do bombing on top of them, you have to know their position in 3 dimensions, including the altitude, so that your bomb goes very accurately. That is there. Then laser designation. Now the UAV comes with laser designation. So it can laser designate for other people to pick up the target on their own laser designating pod, or to hit the target with a laser guided bomb. So that issue of, I think, Kargil, we have left far behind.
Fighting the last war can surely be won. But during that war, you lost 2 fighters, one because of an engine failure and a helicopter. Did you underestimate the number of Stingers Pakistan had, or equivalent missiles?
No, we had, we knew that there are surface-to-air missiles on the peaks. There was no doubt on that. After the Canberra was hit, then we knew that yes, there are surface-to-air missiles. The first aircraft that we lost, the fighter, was lost because of gas ingestion when he fired his guns at that particular altitude. So it was more of a, you can say, a mechanical failure. The second aircraft which was there, Ahuja, who was orbiting out there at altitude apparently, knew the dangers. In fact, Balakot had told him that they are firing missiles. He knew the dangers, still he elected to orbit. He was outside the envelope when he started, at least, so that he could direct a helicopter which was talking to him, one Flight Lieutenant Kundu, he was talking to him. So, and he had located the wreckage. So he wanted him to come and try and pick up Nachiketa. So the risks were known, and still he was operating. Yes, he may have, he was in a 3-tank configuration in dry power in the Type 96, could have, he may have drifted downwards. That's how he got hit. But the fact is that we were aware of this, and the action of, we are carrying out single pass attacks. It was not meant for, we knew the threat and how we will tackle it.
The army has said at that time and even now that there were delays by the Air Force in getting into the action. Were there actually delays, or if there were, what were the reasons for it?
See, the Air Force went into operation on the 26th of May, and the political clearance was given on the 25th. So from the political clearance, there was no delay. Initially, the Air Chief said, I mean, he keeps saying even now, that he told the army that if you want to use air power, it is escalatory, we need to go to the government, okay, instead of, just carrying out a strike without informing the government. And I think he was right in another thing that, like I told you, when you are carrying out air attacks, anything can happen. If some aircraft crosses across, other side shoots you down, then what happens? In no time, you will go into an air war. So I don't think you should carry out air operations without being ready for a full-scale war. Coming back to Kargil, what I want to tell you is, it's a good thing. And now on the basis of hindsight, that on around 12th or 14th of May, as what literature is coming out from across the border, the entire Pakistan Air Force had deployed in a soft location and we didn't know about it. I think for us to get fully prepared for war and then do the action on 26th was, I think, a very good decision.
The government told you not to cross the line of control. But now we are hearing, and Air Marshal Nana Menon has said that yes, we inadvertently did cross the line of control.
Yeah.
Now, how often did that happen? Why did that happen?
You
and
see,
what were you expecting?
The line of control is not a straight line. Okay. it has got its kinks and curves. So there was some inadvertent crossing. I mean, there was no crossing. There was no crossing by design, or nobody crossed on a planned attack to the line of control. No, there's some inadvertent crossing, and one odd guy overshot his point, and he may have crossed slightly more inside. That is what the other side is also saying. But there was no planned crossing. See, all wars are fought for political objectives. So that was the political objective. I mean, you can't say that I will, you give me a free hand, otherwise I will not go. There is no conflict in which there will not be a political overrider. You have to accept that and make your plan accordingly.
Muntho Dhalo, that was your biggest success. It may have shortened the war. Now, initially there was trouble finding Muntho Dhalo. What actually happened? And then the pilot didn't see it, and then you saw the film. Tell us what actually happened and what the operation was like.
Actually, even in case of Nachiketa, I think what he saw in his first pass was Muntho Dhalo. Then he wanted to do a second pass over it, because it was quite a lucrative target. But yes, it was picked up like it was covered in Gwalior by the targeting pod of the Mirage 2000, and the multifunction display on the Mirage 2000, the older version, is quite a small one. In the air, it was missed out, but when they came on the ground and played the same thing on a large screen TV, then they picked it up. Then the coordinates were taken, and then we carried out a synchronized attack, in which even the 23-27 attacked it, and of course the Mirages also attacked it, and the target was taken out and blown to smithereens. But the fact is, like I told you, this was one of our big limitations at that particular time. If we had the reconnaissance asset that we have got now, we would have definitely picked up Muntho Dhalo as it was developing as a logistic base.
You had 40 squadrons at that time. You had more leeway. You have 35 or less today. Would you be able to fight another Kargil war today?
Definitely. Kargil kind of a war, it is limited area, limited place is not an issue. This 40, 42 squadron, whatever people keep talking about, it is required for a two-front scenario. Okay, and what did we do in exercise Gagan Shakti? See, you should have so many things, okay, but you have only so many things. Then you have a plan B. Okay, I've got only this one. Now, what do I do about it? So, what did we do in Gagan Shakti? We said, okay, with whatever we have got, can we optimize it? And we flew, in the first 3 days when we did surge operations, simulating action on the Western theatre, we flew 5,000 fighter sorties. Okay, so, and then we shifted forces. Let's say, okay, what happens if we have a northern contingency? Then we shifted forces. In 48 hours, we were able to shift all the forces. Then operate in the eastern side with from multiple dispersed locations. So what we did in Gagan Shakti was exercise a plan B. So plan B is what? Plan B is being able to fight with what you got.
Yes, General Malik had said we will fight with what we have at that time. But basically, even to have a plan B, you have to have high serviceability and so on.
Yeah, we built serviceability. Even now, after this February operations, we went up to almost Gagan Shakti serviceability. We built the serviceability. You see, the question is, when normal training flying is going on, it is not always at that level, because routine servicing, all these things will start. But when operations start, all people, routine servicing is delayed, extension is given. In Gagan Shakti, we maintained a serviceability of 83%. Our target was 75%. And not only that, we got a dispatch reliability of 95%. Just now we have come back from France, and we have, in this exercise Garuda, we have maintained 98% serviceability. Only one mission, I think, was an abort because of one aircraft having some this thing. Rest all, everything went through.
So what you're saying is, in February, even if there was an escalation, you would have been all right in terms of number of planes, in terms of ability to respond or whatever.
No, like I told you that if there was an apprehension, we would have voiced it. There was no apprehension.
Kargil, well, there was always talk about Army and not telling Air Force and so on. Today, you are again Chairman COSC. Is there closer cooperation between the Army and the Air Force and the Navy and the services than it was in Kargil in 99?
The structures remain the same. Okay.
Yes.
But what I want to tell you is, you must keep one thing very clear in mind. Air Force is the only service that has got joint headquarters with the other two services. With every command headquarters, we have got an advanced headquarters which goes and forms the JAOC, Joint Army Air Operations Center. Now this has got a 2-star general. So we have got it with every command headquarters, and in addition with the Western Naval Command we have got MOC, and Eastern Naval Command we are in the process of making it. Then in every corps headquarters we have got a tactical. So we are very well integrated into things. Only question is that what is there was, at that particular time I think there was some you can say misconnection between the leadership, because otherwise we had the AOC Advanced Headquarters who was located in Udhampur. He was along with the Northern Command, and not only that, he also had forces in the J&K area under his command. That is both helicopters and fighters, if they had this thing. But the issue was that the kind of support that was being asked for at that particular time was not technically capable of taking out those targets. And the second most important thing is, where were the targets?
Yes.
Nobody knew where the target was.
Yes.
I mean, even on the 26th was a big question mark. And this chap, Chinky Sinha, that helicopter CEO, was told that go to Matayan, take the 2IC, I think 2IC of the 8-6 or something was taken in the helicopter, that he will show you the target. So he got airborne with the thing, and still, I mean, there was still a lot of, nobody could point out the target. Our main problem was, see, the enemy was on static defenses. They were on Sangars and they were in static. They were not masked, they were not mobilized, and their firepower, the artillery, which was caused the maximum casualties on our side, was across the line of control, which could not be engaged. The logistic areas across the line of control could not be engaged. The major logistic area they formed towards our side was Munthur Dalo, which we took out. So those joint operational issues, we have many of them have been ironed out, and some work is in progress.
Did you regret that you couldn't cross the line of control?
No. What happens is, in a conventional war, had we fought a conventional war, none of the Sangars would have normally been Air Force targets. We would have hit far behind. We have hit their logistic train, we would have hit their lines of induction, and their this thing into this northern areas. So we would have hit all that. And in this, of course, we were limited to taking out the branches of a tree instead of taking out the root and the stem. But like I told you, all wars are fought for political purposes, so you have to accept that limitation.
Finally, you lost a pilot, a fighter pilot, a brother pilot. What do you remember of him? And the question also comes up, could he have been saved?
See, Ajay Ahuja and me go back a very long time. When 88, I got posted to 101 for the second time. He was a youngster in that squad. And when I joined 101 back after my tenure in training command. And thereafter, he got posted to MiG-23BN, then we served again in 29th Squadron. Then when I was in 17, my flight commander was getting promoted. So one of my friends asked me that whom do you like in his place? So I asked for Ahuja. I asked for him by name, and he got posted to us. He was a very good chap, very methodical, very professionally very good. And after the Canberra was hit, we carried out a detailed analysis.
Perumal's Canberra.
The Canberra was hit. We carried out a very detailed analysis. We realized that, first of all, we didn't have ECC clothing, extreme cold climate. We didn't have the clothing for that. We were flying with normal flying clothing with the woolen inners and things like that. So we said, if you eject at 15, 16 or 18,000 feet, you're going to die anyway, because you will not survive the night. So what we said was that, and plus you're not acclimatized, you're getting airborne from Srinagar. So what we said was that in case of a surface to air missile hit, aircraft is not going to explode. It doesn't have that kind of warhead and things like that. And plus, all our aircraft have got long jet pipes. You know, if you don't have a tailpipe, then yes, it will hit the turbine, it could cause catastrophic damage. Here, Perumal's Canberra took a hit, it has got a very long turbine, very long jet pipe, it came back.
Miraculous that it came back.
No, this long jet pipe helps in a infrared missile. Anyhow, so we said that your aircraft will not go out of control, so glide with the aircraft, come into a valley and then eject, because then you are this thing, and try and walk down below 10,000 feet before you sleep the night. If you see his aircraft is fallen on the center of the river. So question is, wherever he was hit, he went into the Indus Valley, and then he went to the center of the valley. In fact, he called out his coordinates before he punched out, okay, which we plotted, and unfortunately it was across the line of control. Only I think on hindsight is that, you know, he had a 60-degree turn to go towards Marol, and he had a 120-degree turn to come towards India. He took a 60-degree turn. So, and okay, he would have been a POW. We never expected him to be shot. That is maximum. Okay, he would have been a POW, but we never expected him to be killed. So this time when this thing happened and Abhinandan went across, I told Air Marshal Varthaman, I could not get Ahuja back, but I will get Abhinandan back.
Sir, we want to thank you very much. It was nice to interview you after 20 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.